obviously nobody really knows the Emperor's plan, including the original writers, clearly, because everyone's in a complete muddle as to what the fuck he was actually trying to do.
Well, to be fair, I quite like that in a way, though, because it highlights like how like insanely like nutty the Emperor is, and also like how his foresight is so confusing. I think
they're still going to pull
there's too many writers. So there's too many writers.
They're going to do the old clean sweep down the line. You just wait and see. Yeah, 100%. They're going to get someone like Dabnet, and they're going to go right. Dabnet, clean sweep the bad boy, and they're going to write something together. And the Emperor's going to be like, "As you can see, this was my plan all along, my sons."
Welcome to the In the Tank podcast. Get ready for an hour of hot 40k goodness coming in your ears. You're in the tank now, baby.
We're live!
We are indeed live. Welcome, everybody, to In the Tank. Easter special, I suppose, as we're doing this on like technically Easter Monday, I guess, because we're quite late to the party this week. How are you doing, my absolute fabulous, sexy, and very competent co-host? How are you doing?
God, I don't know if I can take that much smoke up my ass. I'm good, mate. How are you?
You can. I'm good. If I'm honest, no, I'm not good. I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm really, really, really exhausted. I've literally just got back from seeing one of the best metal bands of all time fight me, called Ghost, at Birmingham, and I'm knackered. I'm absolutely I'm demolished.
Best metal band of all time, worst city of all time.
Oh,
good combo.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Not a big fan.
When did you last go?
An indeterminate amount of time ago. Because I've been avoiding it.
Are you being a southern fairy like me?
No.
It's like
no.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm not a big Birmingham man.
Right, fair.
I've driven enough around that city centre to be like, who designed this? I mean, if your whole city gets bombed to the point where you have to basically rebuild the whole fucking thing, start with a good road system.
Don't rebuild it exactly as it was.
Yeah,
no, that's fair enough. I mean, I think the canals are absolutely stunning. And
the canals
the people
are
really nice and not.
I used to live up the road from Stoke Brewing in Northampton, so it's like I've seen enough canals. Like,
fair.
To be fair, they're prettier when they're not surrounded by concrete.
It's very concrete-y, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But very quickly, two quick ones aside before we have a proper catch-up. Number one, I was recognised at the Ghost Game, which is fucking nuts. So shout out to my homie out there that recognised me in the crowd. Antonio, you're an absolute lad. Thank you for messaging me on Instagram afterwards. It was so surreal. My wife was like, just disgusted.
I heard directly from your wife that your head was so big. And by the way, guys, Russ has got a fucking big head.
I do have a big head.
It's massive, especially when his hair's out. It was so big that he couldn't get back into their hotel. He was stuck outside. He had to use the back door, if you know what I mean.
Lodge.
Yeah.
And a shout out to Element Games in Birmingham, because that store is banging. I bought myself a fat squad of dragon ogres.
Nice.
Because they're fantastic.
He doesn't love it.
I need to give a anvil to my hammer that is my beastman.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's all good. So I get to indulge in that scene. So what you've been working on, Ed? How you?
I actually have been doing some hobby.
You've been doing some shit. You've actually been doing some hobby.
Yeah, actually, for the first time in forever, I'm doing more hobbying now in this last week than I've been doing in like the last 3 months because of the barn, obviously. Oh. So I don't know what overcame me last week, but I was like, my mate Paul came over to the barn for a game and he was bringing his World Eaters and he was like, I want to have like a proper bloodbath. And I was like, well, I've been wanting to play Annihilation Legion Necrons since the Codex dropped. And I always used to love playing, killy sort of Necrons. What were they called? Not Mephrit, the other one. Novok Necrons back in 9th edition. And I just didn't have enough flayed ones to run the list. I have 10 flayed ones, and I was like, I need 25 to run this list, and I needed 15 score pack as well. And I was like, oh god, that's going to take me all week to paint 15 flayed ones and to build them because they're awful to build. So I just I just bit the bullet and got on with it. I did the whole lot. Got them just literally done about an hour before we launched the stream. I was just finishing painting up to the line, as you do.
I did have a painting night with you where you were bitching about it as well.
So I finished I did 15 flayed ones. I did 2 Scorpack Lords, 3 Scorpack, and the Deceiver last week. So that was a massive week for just getting shit finished off and done. So that was awesome. And now this week, because we've got a tournament coming up, a teams tournament, which we'll probably dive into at some point, I'm also biting another Necron's bullet, which is the other thing that I've been like, I should really paint these for the longest time and never done them. 2 Doomsday Arcs. I've got no Doomsday Arcs as a Necron player because I've just been avoiding playing them. Because I
have a Doomsday Arc and I don't even play Necrons.
There you go. And I was just like, I just really don't want to paint them and build them because they're just awful kits to build and all this sort of stuff. Because they're great, they look beautiful when they're done, but they're a nightmare. So I've done it, and they are in about 4,000 pieces that I've now sprayed. And I've also got 2 more Psychomancers to paint as well, because I'm running a triple Psychomancer list.
Oh, baby,
Psychomancer! I'm going to be like full mind games with my opponent. It's going to be.
You're quite literally playing a Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So that's
see on your data card.
So everyone's like, it's good to see you painting different armies, and I'm like, back to Necrons. I'm taking it up to 10,000 points of painted Necrons, baby.
So, to be honest, I think it's Ed Spesh playing Necrons. I associate you playing Necrons more than any other faction for whatever reason.
I know, but I'm a bit worried that I keep on playing Necrons on the barn, and I'm going to probably play them again this week, but a different list as well. So I'm just like, fuck it.
Everyone loves a bit of Necrons.
He doesn't, yeah.
I loved your game that you played on the barn, by the way. Was your mate John? Was it John?
Paul.
Oh, Paul. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. Paul. John.
Yeah.
I don't know why I called him John. Paul. 2 things about Paul. Number 1, he's a lovely guy. And I really enjoy watching him on stream. And he's got a sexy, dark voice like me. He
does, doesn't
he? Deep
because we were listening to it back, and he
was
was like, God, my voice sounds deep. And I was like, I know.
I loved it. I was going to say on
Dulcet
chat, I love your voice, mate. It sounds great. But I'm too busy just spamming abuse at you.
Yeah, too busy just going Aru and talking about Space Wars as usual. So, but no, it was good. It was good fun. So I've got Chris coming over for a game on Friday. We're going to do our stream this week, so a day earlier than normal because obviously of the event. We don't want to be all knackered on Saturday night. And he's going to be playing Triple Wraith Knight, which is just going to be crackers. So that'll be fun.
Nice. See, I've been schizophrenic with my painting of late, I must confess. I'm starting to unravel and lose it a little bit. So I've been just, for whatever reason, putting some contrast paints on the Beastman Chariot, just because. You were like, I was like, Russ, we've got this event coming up. I hope you're possessed and everything are ready. And you're like, yeah. And then you're like sending me pictures of you painting a fucking Beastman Chariot. And I'm like. Yeah, it's all good getting there. I tried out a cool scheme for my Nemesis Claw kill squad called the Blood Moon Reavers. And it's all red and gold. I'm gonna. It's
very cool. I like that.
You.
It looks good.
Thank you very much. I'm nearly there with my Possessed. I've just got to put some bony colours on them and wash
You got a bit
them.
slowed down though, didn't you? Painting the Possessed. A couple of idiots in your life. Where,
we'll move on to that in a second because that takes an entire sub category.
No way. Okay,
it does. Right. I've got a lot to say.
I'll let you
on
introduce that one then.
I will. I promise. But I'm nearly there. I would say I'm about a day out with my Possessed, and I'll be there.
Oh, you've got plenty of time. You got a week, mate.
And then I've got Fabius. Well, I've got 4 days, but there we go. I got Fabius as well. That I decided, in my infinite wisdom, being a dickhead like I am, I'm going to paint Space Marines in a split colour scheme. I'm going to paint every panel on Fabius Bile's cloak a different colour to represent the fact that he's skinned all of the different. Your
Fabius Bile
Marines.
is like a modern Marvel movie. It's got every race and creed in it. It's literally everything.
Love that. Yeah, so Fabius, I've got, because my concept is that if Fabius made his skin trench coat from the bodies of It's Van 5, there'd be salamanders in there. There'd be Raven Guard in there, Iron Hands, loads of fuck.
Cut my skin in two pieces.
So and then Pimp Kane. I've actually been really enjoying painting him. Actually, he's going to come together.
He looks
fast.
so cool. I saw it and it looks really savage. So I'm excited to see him on the table. And it's the nice thing is this is giving you a little kick up the arse to start the Chaos journey. So
Yes.
I think it's been quite good for you.
Well, I think, to be fair, my grand plans are to go Papa Nurgle first. So
look at him with your little fly-blown necklace on. Oh, you're such a nerd.
This is purely to like ward me from more diseases because I'm done.
I don't think that's how it works.
2025 has kicked my ass on the diseases.
I think
so
if anything, you'll give yourself more wearing that.
Oh, well.
The blessings of Grandpapa Nurgle.
As long as I don't feel it. But yeah, so I'm going to do, because I think Death Guard are going to be amazing, and there were some snippets from the new deck, so I'm like, they're going to be fucking great.
They look fun.
Great army. So I'm going to play Death Guard, and to be honest, I'm actually nearly there. I'm not a million miles away from Death Guard, so it'll probably take me a couple of months to get that army together, and then I can crack out my CSM stuff, and then some Beastmen, because I'll probably get distracted and do some Beastmen at some point anyway. So
can't help yourself.
No. Before I go on to my hilarious and infuriating subtopic, everybody, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Only a very small proportion.
Boring now.
There we
that
go.
You do this off
every
the
time.
sheet.
You just
Ruin
you
my
get
fun.
infuriated. It's not actually on the sheet today, so get fucked.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
You just remembered.
I just now have structure in my life. Unlike a certain someone. But like, I know how
Shots fired.
I know.
It's true,
I know. Ooh, what are we doing?
Oh, shit.
You're like a fucking daddy longlegs in life. You're just like,
I'm like a moth. You know how they just do that with mental.
Yeah. Just bashing into windows.
I must fly into the light, brother.
God, burn me. Only a small percentage of you are subscribers.
Yes.
Please fucking subscribe. We need your subscriber count to go up higher, please.
Yeah.
Because our viewer count's
we're now
actually
being
amazing.
beaten by the battle barn.
Well, yes. The battle barn is beating us, but also our viewer count, our watch hours is really good. So, just subscribe, please. Subscribe. And just give me
hit that notification bell.
Give it to me. And check out our Discord, because actually it's the coolest place. Like, we're constantly talking shit to each other all the time on Discord, so please do that. So that's what
it's mostly just War Boss John being relentless with his wolf jokes. He is like, everything he says, he's like, it's
lucky
wolf.
that guy. It's lucky I love that guy so much, and that he has a cute doggo. Because it's like, dude,
he needs to dress that dog up as a wolf and make you walk around with it all day, like fenders.
I mean, it's almost like a dog is a mini wolf head, but we're not even going to go there. Fucking right, okay. So before we get into some proper meaty subject, I've got this very hilarious subpoint, which I affectionately describe as the gold paint ghost. So you're just such a fucking... And this is where I have my love-hate relationship with Ed, right? Where on one hand, I would very happily take a bullet. Well, not happily, but I would take a bullet for you, and you are one of my inner circle companions, so to speak. But God, you fucking piss me off. Like, and this is a prime example of this, right? Well, I cordially invited you to my son's 3rd birthday of late, right? Not to dock to my own baby, which was great. I spent some time with you and my best friend Joel, my other best friend Joel, and we got them all in. It got you both in the office, and we're hanging out and stuff. And I was showing you my paints and stuff, and be like, "Oh, look at my cool hobby stuff."
It was great.
And then you took note of my Emperor Gold, which is like the best gold ever. It's this gold.
You've been banging on about it relentlessly so much.
Which is now only a third full now, so I desperately need something. Yeah, danger, high voltage. And you were like, "Oh, that's a cool gold." And then bless you guys, you kind of all went your separate ways and stuff. And then I came back in to do some possessed and get some work done. And I was like, "Where's my fucking Emperor's Gold?" And I was literally Ed, and this is one part of the story that I didn't tell you. I was here for an hour looking for my Emperor's Gold. I was tearing under my desk up. I was throwing shit, and the rage.
I'm so sad I couldn't see.
I was yelling profanities. I was like,
fucking Ed.
I presumed that my lad took it. Had come into my office and took my paint, and then fucked up because he loves my paint.
the family. Oh, great.
And I'm starting to get desperate, and then I think, oh my God, fucking Ed's took it, because he's like looked at it, and I messaged you, and I was like, "Where's my fucking Emperor's Gold?" And you're like, "I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I don't know what you're doing." Like, your other mate Joel was looking at it, and he was like, and that's when I knew that you had taken it, because I know for a fact that Joel would never do anything. I
said he was looking it up on eBay to see how much it would go for, and you were like,
I knew at that point that you had stolen it.
Yeah.
And then you just sent me really dickhead cryptic messages like, "Look above you, brother. Look to the skies.
No, I said the Emperor's
absolution.
light shines from above, and you
Which
were
I
like,
presumed that the blanchness of both would be above that. And I was like freaking out and going like, I can't fucking find it, Ed. I can't fucking find it. All the while when my wife goes, I'm going to have a look, finds it in 2 seconds. Like literally comes into and goes, oh yeah, it's up there. And I'm like, fuck. Because I got so annoyed and so angry that I just couldn't see the
best thing
is,
tree. When you walked into the room, it was literally at eye line directly in front of you.
Eye line for a hobbit, not for me.
No, for you. You could have seen that. It was right in front of your face.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it was quite entertaining. And then the best thing was
no,
Mel, the absolute legend, hit it again later.
Yeah.
So just jumped in on it.
So just that I, was losing my mind enough as it was, like my beautiful darling wife, you sexy fuck, decided to hide my Emperor's Gold somewhere. She hid it like on top of my stuffed Dratini over there.
Yeah.
And she then sent me a cryptic test. I'm like, check the Pokemon. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
That's not cryptic.
No, it's not. But you say that actually, there's a lot of Pokemon in this house.
Check the Pokemon. Pokemoned up his bumhole.
Pokemon did. So you can all get fucked and leave me alone, quite frankly.
You're lucky I didn't hide more, or did I? Have you found the book yet?
No.
No?
You haven't moved the book.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're going to move on now. The pain of my expression. I'm just like...
The other best one was when I was at Russ's house. He has all these like child locks on the cupboard doors and stuff like that, because obviously he's got a 3-year-old. And everyone was like, "Oh, can we get some teaspoons for the birthday cake?" And I walked into the kitchen and I was like, "Oh fuck, there's a child lock on this drawer." And then Russ came in like 2 seconds later, and I was like fumbling with the child lock, and I was like, I've been defeated, brother, by a child lock.
It was funny.
I did figure it out in the end, but it was not obvious.
No, well, it was, but bless you. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. So.
I'm an agent of chaos, Russ. What can I say?
You're not really, though, are you? I'm now the agent of chaos.
An agent of mischief, for sure.
Yeah, true. You are. Yeah, okay. I'll grant you that. You're an Alpha Legionnaire / Nutty Necron. So
Conduit of chaos. That's what they call me.
So, is it just what you call you?
That's what I call you.
Yeah, okay, fair. Right, so, Trench Crusade. You were finally...
Bang! That was my erection hitting the table from
So
underneath.
you finally... If you were to go back on In the Tank, I do remember talking to you about this. And,
and I was like, no, I'm not interested.
I don't know.
Yeah, do you know why, Russ? It's because I was in the middle of a 9-month baby, aka making this fucking battle barn, so I couldn't concentrate on another game system. But now that it's done, I told you I've got a bit more mental space. It's only a skirmish game. It's a deep skirmish game, which I'm quite excited about. But oh my goodness, am I excited about it now that I finally peeled back the lid. Peel back the foreskin.
So, are we allowed to talk about any of your plans?
Yes.
Great. So we're gonna have some. I see how we say "we" now. Just like jumping on the battle barn. So we're gonna be doing some Trench Crusade content for the old battle barn, including like a potential narrative campaign. But just
you're gonna do like a multiplayer narrative campaign. It's gonna be excellent.
So we've got like 4 main players, right? So it's almost like a tale of 4 gamers done.
Yeah.
Trench Crusade, which is quite funky.
It's gonna be really.
So
cool.
who are you playing, Ed?
I am playing the Trench Pilgrims, who are basically the sort of lunatic religious nutcases / zealots that have like gathered up. They're just sort of like general masses, and they're the ones with like the definitely not KKK hats.
Yeah.
They're like, what are they called? Iron Capitrians.
They look a little bit Silent
like a big
Hilly.
Point. Yeah, they look a bit like
Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head. Yeah, they got the big pointy hats. And they're really cool. They've got some very interesting units. One of them is like this, it's called a anchorite, and it's basically just like a shrine, and it's so metal. It's got like a monk or like a priest or whatever inside it, and basically he sort of powers it almost like a dreadnought, but the entire thing inside is like a torture device. So it's like what are those spiky things called that you go inside the old
Iron Maiden.
Yeah, it's like an Iron Maiden.
Can I play with madness?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like an Iron Maiden, but he's like wandering around with this big diesel engine thing, and it's got like a fucking wheel on it with people that get broken on the wheel.
It's like the what the Repentia engine's called.
It's a bit like that. Yeah.
It's like
God, we are fucking. Eventually, this podcast is just going to be like us just going, what's that fucking thing called? Oh, yeah, what was it? Oh, yeah, Warhammer, that was it.
I'm playing
Who's that big guy on the throne?
the king. I mean, that's a cool choice.
Yeah, well, who are you playing?
I'm playing the Sultanite of the Iron Wall.
Very cool.
So, praise God, for God will be my guide.
Basically, Russ looked through the entire rules book and was like, and then he was like, huge giant bull. I'm playing it. That was literally all you did. And then he was like, by the way, their roar is really cool. But it's mainly the bull.
Bull.
Yeah,
and the lions, Jafir.
It's basically this like gigantic mutated monster with like an artillery cannon and a fuck off sword, but it's like a bull. And Russ was quids in the second he saw it. He was like, I love bulls. Yeah.
Also, they are cool. They're really
no,
cool.
they're very. Their lore is actually
and
pretty
some
cool.
Azebs. They're like the Muslim faction in the game because all faith is real, right? So like they're really cool, and
cool.
I like Arabian Nights meets World War One kind of vibe, like very cool. Can't wait to play that. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so we've got a few of us who are going to be playing, and we've got obviously James from March of War who has printed us he's printed us a fuckload of terrain basically. So that's going to be and the armies and stuff. So he's going to be sending that down this week some point post bank holiday, which will be good. And he will eventually come down for a game as well at some point, so that'll be wicked. Nice. But no, it's going to be really exciting, to be honest. Thrilled.
So stand by, caller. So
we're also going to make a modular trench board, by the way. This is another project that Paul and I are going to work on separately. So we're going to do there's a trench system that James has designed himself, which is really cool. It's really good for like flat tables if you're using like a battle mat or that sort of stuff, and you don't want to obviously have like big foam boards and things like that. So the way his works is you literally just place the sort of trenches around, and you can just sort of put them together. But the one that Paul and I are going to make separately, which will come down at a later date, we'll probably make a video on how we made it, will be like a big table with like panels that you can rotate and change panels in and out to change how all the trenches are laid out. So you can change it up for different maps and stuff, which would be really cool. So that's the plan, at least. So we've got some really fun stuff. Yeah, it'd be wicked. He's designed it all. He's such a nerd. He was like, look at this. I've made it all like interchangeable and shit. And I was like, yeah, it's just fucking buttering my crumpet. I'm into it. Yeah.
Such an English phrase that was good.
Buttering my crumpet.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, wicked. Bring it on. So stand by, caller. We're going to get some
stand by for action.
Stand by, ready to fight in no man's land. Stand by, over the top you go. Face demons of various descriptions. I cannot wait to do those like videos that we do. Like, there's going to be so
with the
voiceover
and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, so cool, so cool. So, Trench Crusade. That's Trench Crusade. So our first big chunky topic is a Patreon question. So thank you to our gorgeous Patreons.
Yes, thank you, Patreons.
Thank you, Patreons. We're going to get a special thank you to you right now. And if you would like to be a Patreon, just
it's in the description below.
Gorgeous people.
As is the link to our Discord. Which is free to join. So.
You sounded like pissed at you. Discord.
Yeah, it's all the whiskey in the bottom of this Sprite can.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I have driven you to drink. So, are all sides of the hobby getting equal treatment? So, like, are all sides of the Warhammer from Games Workshop's perspective hobby getting equal treatment? Would you reckon, Ed, straight off the bat? Because I've got a yes.
No, are they?
No, but yes. What would you like to say on that before?
Because look at 40k, right? Obviously, like 40k is their baby, and they've been doing a lot of like pushing with it this last sort of edition, and I think they're doing a really good job, as we've spoken about many times, with pushing out decent regular updates and balancing the game and releasing new codexes and updated rules for factions, etc., etc., etc. Other games, some of my favorites, things like Warcry, for example, have not been getting anywhere near as love, and I know, much love. Sorry, and I know that obviously Warcry is a much smaller product for them, so it's like 1% as much money that they make off of that. But they've discontinued like entire lines of the original run of Warcry and stuff. You can't even get the minis anymore.
Well,
which is
I think
sad.
they're going to kill it, right?
I know, but it's such a shame because I thought Warcry was so much fun. Like I just sort of think at the minute, like I look at Kill Team, and this is why I'm so drawn by Trench Crusade, is because one of the things I love about Trench Crusade is, and I'm not going to harp on about it all episode, but like one of the nice things about it is that you only need like a D6 next to your models, which is to just that's to sort of track their blood markers. You can only get up to 6, so you only ever need one little dice next to your dude. That's it. In Kill Team, I feel like I've got like about 15 different fucking markers flipped around each dude.
You need an admin assistant goblin to be like, would you like some more counters, sir?
Yeah.
Would you like some more counters?
And as someone who like always forgets to bring their tokens with them, and as in like not to games but around on the table, I'll move a model and I'll leave all his things and I'll be like, oh, was that his? Like Kill Team just it's so bogged down with that at the minute for me personally, and there are a lot of like rules on top of rules on top of rules. I like what the Trench Crusade have done where they've kept their core systems nice and tight, but they've added a bit of depth and fluff and stuff in the sort of building of the army, which is where it should be, but they've kept the game quick and like, action packed, and there's less like wanking around. Whereas in Kill Team, I feel like it takes so long to have a game now of Kill Team. And
it's amazing how, despite how young like Trench Crusade is, that it has such a definitive concept of what it wants to be.
But old Kill Team wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as new Kill Team. I used to play loads of it with Paul back in the day. That was one of our favourite games. But that's what I'm trying to touch on, is that I feel like if they gave some of their other smaller products like Kill Team and like Warcry the 40k treatment, in that they just kept the, I know they do balance Kill Team, and they give them updates, and I know that they have like new armies coming out all the time. They just need a new fucking edition where they give them like make it less wanky, right?
They've just had one, boss.
It's not that new. It's newish. Is it like 6 months?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Okay, but they need to just start. They need to index it and start from scratch, if I'm honest, because it's just not.
Because they had to change all the boxes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Last year.
I think you're right.
I think it was like November-ish, December-ish.
Yeah, they did like
they changed all the boxes for
they
him,
did,
right?
didn't they? Oh God,
Sorry,
it's
bro.
not for me at the minute. But anyway, so I think like Warcry was one of the ones that I loved because it was less sort of messing about. Yeah, less wanky. That's the only really way of putting it. And I think they need to give games like that have got dedicated followings and people have a lot of love for that game. They need to give those a bit more love, as well as other areas in the hobby. One of the other ones I will touch on is, please, Games Workshop, for the love of God, change your paints to dropper bottles.
Yeah, fucking hell. I
have had enough of these fucking annoying bastards.
I'm transferring.
I know you are.
I'm like moving shit.
If they had a dropper bottle with an agitator bead in each one, that would just be so great, like for everybody involved. But they don't, and I don't know.
After using both side by side, I'm like,
there's no competition.
This is jokes, mate. This is jokes. When you'll return to your Citadel paint and it's dead, and you're just like, fuck.
It's all crusty up the back because there's a little bit of paint that got around the back of it in the rim, and then it lets air and dries out, and it's just, I don't know.
That to me feels a little bit pig-headed now, where it's obvious, right? And don't get me wrong, right? It's gonna be really expensive to do it, right? Because they've got to figure out a new plant probably to make those pots. They've probably got thousands, if not millions, of pots already made that they're going to have to cycle through. And I get it, that, from your bottom line and shareholders, like why would shareholders go, hold on a minute, you're like spending more money to make a product that lasts longer and that people don't need to buy as often? But it's like Colour Forge, right?
They're just going to eventually get like pushed out of their own market.
Well, now that War Paint Fanatic has basically created a painting system that doesn't rely on shitty naming convention, that has a very clearly laid out triadic ×2 format, and is in a dropper bottle, and has and is good and is cheaper than GW.
I'm intrigued to see whether they do it, and I'm intrigued to see whether or not they step up the size of their cans as well, their spray cans to keep up the colour forge.
I can tell you that now. They're not going to. It's been the same for the last 20 years, 30 years, so they're not going to.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, there are a few areas like that of the hobby, I think, that could do with more love from like a sort of hobbyist perspective or a gamer perspective.
Interestingly, the hobby perspective thing is really interesting, Ed, right? Because I feel like the one thing that GW has in abundance is the strength of its IP, right? Mm-hmm. Where in the past, it's created hobby products that have won over people that aren't necessarily better products, but have the IP attachment. Whether that's like a servo skull tape measure, or like that's how you do it.
Yeah,
right. Is you become creative. And you use the strength of your IP that you do have protection on to create some wicked hobby products. But instead, if you're just flatlining it straight and you're like, here's our paints, here's our brushes, here's our cans, you're just going to get bukkake from like a million different directions of like stuff that unfortunately is better, cheaper, and more reliable than your product.
Because you can get better brushes, better paint, better hobby tools, better spray.
I can literally name
anywhere else
like 10 alternatives now, right?
I think the only time I ever buy anything from Games Workshop from a hobbyist perspective is their like small dry brushes sometimes, if I'm desperate for one. That's about it. So
no, I'm an orange brush boy now.
No, I know you are. I haven't tried them yet because my order got lost, but that's my own fault. So I will get one.
But yeah, I think it's a complicated question in as much as, of course, it's not equal. But the fact that GW do try and get ahead on everything, right, means that they're trying to create an umbrella brand to bring everything together a little bit. And like, to their credit, the Black Library is amazing and can function as a separate sort of ad hoc component, right? And although people are like, the plot isn't moving fast enough, I'm like, bro, like, those fuckers make a lot of novels every year, and a lot of them are fantastic. Like, compared to your average sci-fi and, like, fantasy novel, they're actually brilliant. Like, they're really good. Like, and especially when we get to the scouring eventually and stuff like that, that's going to be good. And their miniatures are great, actually, if we compare their, like, actual, like, sculpts compared to everything else on the market. To be fair, their sculpts are fucking fantastic. But in terms of the actual rules, I think the rules are an issue and have always been a bit of an issue, although ironically I actually think that 10th edition is probably my favourite edition of 40k ever, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's good.
And I would actually contend with anyone that's like 10th edition is rubbish, and I'm like, is it though? Are you just shit at the game?
I think 9th edition had some other sides of it that were slightly better than 10th.
I preferred,
but
8th.
I think
I preferred 8th to 9th anyway, so like
there's pros and cons to every edition, to be honest.
No, of course, but I'm currently very happy with
at least they got rid of all the rerolls in 10th edition. There's none of those anymore, which is great. You don't see any of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's bad, wasn't it? That's bad. The website design is fucking horrendous. You want to sort that shit out?
Dog shit.
So in terms of putting effort into every part of your company, maybe your online situation needs to be
but they just rebuilt it and then made it worse. And I don't understand why they did it.
Yeah, that's a serious problem, really.
Yeah.
And just, and I mean, to their credit, we're not haters, we're just being honest, right? Where actually we want GW
they do a lot of things right as well.
Of course they do. Like we've mentioned some stuff, right? But I actually think, ironically, and this sounds really bad, maybe move a bit more away from paints if you want to do that, and maybe focus on other stuff, or if you are going to still have paints, and think about your consumer a bit more, but I don't know.
I think there's one thing I could say that they definitely could do better, right? You know, when they designed their kits for miniatures, obviously to go together, and they've got like all the sort of the little bits that lock in, like shoulders popping into joints and that sort of stuff. So when they designed the flayed one kit, whoever did it was clearly drunk, because they forgot to do that when they did the hips on the flayed ones, because what they've done is they've given them the sort of slightest hint of a groove that could really be there or maybe not. Yeah. And when you put the legs in, you just don't know if they're actually really in the right position or not. And therefore you can either end up with a flayed one that looks like he's doing yoga, or do you know what I mean?
You actually make a really good point there, where actually GW instructions are pretty fucking poor in terms of like instructions for models, right? Well, we live in the 21st century. We live in the 21st century, right? Why don't you have 3D things that you can check it out online and like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Or at least, at the very least, have all of your instructions online. Do you know what I mean? Like, have that. Like, have an archive of all your instructions. But
what I don't get is, like, they've done this before with other models where they have, like, a shoulder joint that they want you to keep in a certain position. And the way they normally do it is they'll have, like, a ball with, like, a decent nubbin on the end of it. And that little nubbin fits into a hole within the shoulder, and then it locks that arm in the right position. Now, what's great about that is if you don't want that arm in that position as like a hobbyist and you want to convert that model, you just cut that nubbin off and then you've got free movement. But with these guys, they were just not really, they just didn't go together properly at all. They should have done a more pronounced nubbin.
Nubbins, more pronounced. Yeah. You do also highlight something that I find really interesting about modern GW kits very quickly as well. Is like a lot of other miniature building companies are going in one of two radical extremes. They're either creating absolutely stunning monopose miniatures, like Trench Crusade, or some of the Artels or whatever, right, out there, or mega modular, like to the point of like insanity, where like you can buy 3D sculpted bits for anything you can possibly imagine, right? It sometimes feels to me like GW has like one foot in and out of that, where some kits they have, which are understandable, like characters, right? You kind of want them to be monoposy because there's only going to be one of them or like whatever in your army, right?
3 max, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's an epic hero.
Exactly. But there are some other things that are like hyper strict in terms of like how you put things together. And I'm like, that's going to be a problem when you're going to have multiples of that unit in your army where everything looks so uniform. And the whole point of the hobby for me is customizing the shit out of it, right? Where it's just weird. Like I had that issue with the Possessed a little bit, where like I love my word bearers Possessed, right? And I want to run loads of them. If I would have used the same Possessed kit like 4 times, it would have looked so boring because I would have had exactly the same sculpts like 4 times in like all over my board for each model, right? And it's like, no, like that's not cool, man. Like make it a bit modular. And the same for the orcs, right? Some of the orc models recently are like mega monoposy, and I'm just like, no, like especially with boys. When
you run
a
lot of them, you want like the ability to sort of change heads in and out and make it random and just sort of throw different things in to give them all a bit of personality and uniqueness. It's a shame when they don't do that. But I do get it from like making kits because they just want to print the minimum thing that they can, obviously, and not have to have loads of stuff. But it's kind of annoying when you don't have those multi-part
and inconsistent
kits.
Because then you have other kits that are genius, like the Night Lord's kit, like got the best miniature apparently ever last year, right? And it's mega modular, and you can do what the hell you want.
What do you think's the best kit from a mechanical standpoint that you've ever built? Like looking at it, because I've got mine. I know exactly.
Can we save that for another time?
Yep.
I'm going to write it down.
Because I know what mine is. It blew me away. Look, he's just like he's running out of topics these days, guys. If you've got any suggestions,
I haven't even slightly, so get fucked. Okay, so I've just written that down because that's a brilliant topic. We're going to save that, Ed, because that's really good. So there we go. So no, they're not approaching everything equally. I think A, that's an impossible task, and B, they're an umbrella hobby thing where they want everyone's money in every hole, right? So they're like, give me some paint money, give me some brush money, give me some rules money. Do you know what I mean? They want all your money however they can get it, right? But, then again, to be fair, we didn't have the model infrastructure that we even had like 5 years ago now, let alone like 10. So, whatever. So, all good. So, this is going to be a controversial question, and we were kind of debating this before the channel went live, but there we go. Who are our favourite online community members, and why do we think sets them apart from all the other content creators online and stuff like that? This is just like, hey, everybody, let's just say hi to who you are and stuff. Like, surely you have some content creators that really inspired you like over the years and stuff. And why?
I have, yeah.
Go for it.
So, I mean, I've always enjoyed Midwinter Minis stuff. I think he's done some good videos over the years. He's such a twat. But like I like how he has quite like a varied bunch of stuff that he puts out. You know, he'll do, because I know he makes music as well, but he'll do like we're building a Titan, and then next week he's like, we're doing like a load of combat patrol games, and then this week he's building a bloody Grace Nurgle tank. So that sort of thing appeals to me, because that's kind of probably what I'm going to end up doing a bit of on the barn, to be honest with you. Just whatever tickles my fancy.
His projects are quite massive as well, right? And they're quite intense, so they're really cool. But
he's a good one. You go next.
Yeah, cool. I mean, this the Jugs crew, man.
Yeah,
everything about those three are just fantastic.
They are great.
I love all three of them for different reasons. Obviously, Peachy we had on the show.
We did. I love Peachy. He's just so down to earth. He's just such a lovely bloke.
Yeah, he's salt of the earth. Yeah. Classic army painter. He's been on the inner circle of the GW, but also equally, like Rob's amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Doing that square-based show.
Rob comes out.
He's so funny. He's so brutal. He's so
we need to get Rob on the bloody show.
Yes,
I need to chase him up.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
And of course, Suggs is just the best. Like Suggs is my favourite painter online. She's intensely talented, and the complete opposite painter of me, where she's just mega bright and like I don't know, just she makes that eye-wateringly.
We
awesome
will complete
minis.
the trio of getting all three of them on the podcast eventually, but we're saving. It's
like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
right?
we're saving Suggs till last, but for two reasons. One, I thought, from Rob's perspective, it'd be nice if we got, we actually got to know him first before, asking his girlfriend on the podcast. And then the other reason was just because I don't want Russ. Russ is, he's got a bit of a.
We're not going there. Shut up, Ed.
Got a little bit of a hobby crash.
No, she's just really talented. Like, shut up.
She is lovely. No, don't get me wrong.
It's not weird to like.
It's not weird. It's not weird. Don't get embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed, Ed. I'm just saying.
The issue
fantastic.
is that we're going to struggle to get through that episode because you're going to be like,
shut up. Just shut up.
Suggs on the podcast.
No, I won't. I'll be very professional.
Okay, sure. All right, we'll find out then.
She's just really cool. Leave her alone.
I love throwing you under the bus live. It's so much fun.
Fucking hate you with that words after this. You're like, absolutely.
I saw your colour going up into the purple.
But it's not even true. It's just like bullshit. Shut up. You're in so much bloody trouble.
Ed. Shut up, Ed.
Shut up, Ed.
Can't believe you said that.
Shut up, Ed.
Yeah,
but yes, the Jugs crew.
They're great.
Moving swiftly on, you absolute bad lad.
This is what people come here for.
It's true.
It's so much fun winding you up. All right. But yeah, the Jugs guys are absolute legends. I know you I've met Winters. You haven't met him yet, but we'll hopefully meet him eventually.
I love a bit of Winters. Winters I found really inspiring for a variety.
He's been doing
it
for years as well. He just cracks on with it, doesn't he?
He's a Deathwing boy as well, so I like him for that.
Mm-hmm.
I love, obviously, friends of the channel. So we've got Broadswords.
Yeah,
and Ollie's
an absolute top lad.
Fucking love that guy. He's amazing.
From Broadsword
Thank you for
Wargaming,
coming on stream as well. Like you guys.
We're going to get him. He's coming over here later this year for a game.
Oh, so good.
That's going to be really good fun.
Obviously, Max, friend of the channel. Quipster, fan of the channel.
Yeah.
Arbiter Ian, I desperately want to have a chat to. For just being a lore master and actually knowing his shit. And his friend Mira Manga, who does like book reviews and stuff like that, who's really great. And I think she did some work for Trench Crusade as well. She's particularly awesome. Voldemort, I really enjoy.
Voldemort's great. Now that his channel's been, unhacked, bless him.
Oh, really?
He got hacked. Yeah, he got hacked. And every fucking video got taken offline earlier this year. It was a nightmare for him, bless him. But yeah, Voldemort's great. I love his videos.
Sexiest voice in the entire world.
Great voice.
Love his voice.
Very inspiring guy. So yeah, there's loads, and there's what's he called? Is it I can't remember the name of them now. Oh my lord, I'll have to Google it in a minute. But there's a couple of guys that do. Oh, there's Vox in the Void. I don't know. Have you seen them?
No.
If you like Warhammer stories and you like your sort of audio books and that stuff, search Vox in the Void. They are really good. They basically he just narrates Warhammer stories, and they're really cool. They're really, really unique and really good. So that's that. There's a couple when there's Warrior Tier, I think, is another one that does them. same sort of thing. Those are both
true.
really good. That's coming at it from more of a voice actory perspective because I just love them. They're really great. So if you're into your stories.
Interesting. And of course, we got your classic Pete the War Gamer. I'm just going to name a few others. Kirioff, who's a fellow metalhead and just chaos lover and crazy at doing conversions. And of course, Kerry, who's a brilliant painter, and she's the shit. So
and obviously my boy Liam and his gang Joe and all of that lot that do his channel down in Southampton. They're all good fun. I've been on there many times over the years. So, and they're one of the inspirations behind the barns. So doing it myself now.
Oh, who did that absolutely insanely massive battle report, that 30k one, to Gazorpazorp?
Yeah, he's great. He's really cool.
He's incredible. Man.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's done stuff with Ollie. They've had crossover videos before. I've seen them and stuff before.
They did that sick Ultramarines versus Wordbearers battle report, which
made
me a bit chubby because I love to see Ultramarines get a kick in, especially by Wordbearers. It's just
there are some amazing channels out there, to be honest with you. They do some really cool shit. And I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just sort of sharing the love for this hobby, isn't it? And finding people who, just turn us on.
Turn us on. I mean, dude, it's amazing, what everyone is capable of, and can shut the fuck up. I know how your brain works. I know how your fucking brain works.
You're on about.
Yeah, you do. Dude, and everyone is so amazing at doing what they do, and inspiring for completely different reasons. Equally, at some point, we are going to have to put people on hose at some point and talk about who we.
Yeah, we will. Anymore. Yeah, we'll do the dirty gossip.
Oh, is that going to be fun? Is that something you guys would like?
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I think you are.
We might be hearing from people's lawyers.
No, I don't think that's... No, just objectively just say I'm not a massive fan of these people. I don't think it's a problem. What about all the YouTube, hate channels and stuff like that? This person's an absolute dick. We would never necessarily go that far.
There's a lot of channels out there that just produce absolute choss. Those guys that just continuously make videos about Henry Cavill and the Amazon TV show. Just relentlessly, they're like, Henry Cavill quits Amazon TV show. And then the next week, it's like, Henry Cavill announces Amazon TV show lineup.
No, there's some mega dickhead, political people that are just, absolute knobheads that I hate, that I probably would like to talk about at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go. Anyway, we'll see. So there you go. Let us know your favourite community members. Anyone that we've missed out.
There's loads. I'm sure I've forgotten millions of them because... I'm just useless, but
obviously anyone that's come on this channel are great people.
Yeah,
you all.
Exactly.
So there you go. This is an interesting topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Is Age of Sigmar GW's best worst game of all time, aka terrible rules, incredible models, terrible setting, incredible monsters. I don't know, whatever, sculpts. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sigmar, man?
It's a little bit like Kill Team, in not complicated like Kill Team, in that I just feel like maybe they should just sort of clean slate it a touch and be like,
they did. They're halfway through an edition.
I know, but maybe they should just get rid of a few weird things out of that game, and just make it a bit better because. I've not played it recently. I used to play it a couple of years ago, but I haven't played it in a while now. And it was fun. It always looks like people who are playing Age of Sigmar are having more fun than the 40k players, but that's because I think the people who are playing 40k have got spreadsheets and calculators and exactly. And they're I've laminated all my rules, and they're those sort of people. Which I'm one of.
To be fair, that's actually a really good point. I will preface this before I say anything that I have no beef with the community.
No, not at all.
If you love Age of Sigmar, dude, you do you, man. I am so glad that you're having a great time. I wish I could as well, in a way.
Because they've got some beautiful sculpts. Goodness.
We'll talk about that in a second. My beef is that it's the most confused game with the weirdest rules I've ever encountered, and it's not even the game has heraldry of greatness, really, where the amount of evolution that game has had since it came out to where it is now is enormous, almost unrecognizable, actually. Because when it first came out, the hardcore trolliness of GW, or bless them, being a bit tone deaf to what was going to happen, right? Because obviously, if anybody doesn't know, Age of Sigmar was born out of the death, the killing, like, blade in the back of the old world, right? Which, don't get me wrong, very convoluted, very hard to learn, but very rewarding game system about rank and file fighting on square bases. Not a very like friendly game for new players or whatever, but had a cult following nonetheless, right? And hardcore ruly, like Rules-mageddon, right? And you've gone from that to, I don't know, man, just play 50 models. We're not going to have a points cost. Like, just have 50 goblins versus 50 knights or giants. Like, oh, you do you. You know, find a piece of wood to, like, go first. And it's just like, what the fuck is that? You hide? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, no.
Double turn? What the
double
fuck
turn.
is that?
Yeah, double turn is the most sinister fucking thing on the planet. Like, I don't know. I don't care if you can write a thesis about, like, how
they're like, oh, but you get advantages if you don't
is.
get the double turn and all this
Fuck
stuff.
Off.
And I was just like,
no,
like,
fuck off. It's weird, and I don't.
I know
like
there's
it.
less shooting in that game, like a lot less.
Yeah, well,
there are some. I think Caradron Overlords can shoot a bit.
Yeah,
but like there is a lot less shooting. But still, it's just weird. The idea of a double turn. Can you imagine that in 40k?
No.
How get a double turn?
Not.
You just be dead.
No, it's just not a possible thing to.
No, it wouldn't work.
To do, right?
You can't cross over that one.
I don't get me wrong. Like 40k gets flacked for having terrible rules, which I will go to bat for 40k in terms of rules till I'm blue in the face, where I'm like, actually, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, shut the fuck up and just play some 40k. Right? But I do think that it's true. Like, but like. Sigmar's weird, man. There's so much weirdness going on about that game that I don't like, and it's so frustrating because it's so potentially so close to being quite an iconic game in their back catalog, right? Where both me and Ed will totally say that like the miniatures in that game
are
arguably the most creative and interesting miniatures that GW have made in decades. Like, you love a bit of Skaven.
If it was a really, if I could get into the game, I'd be into it because Skaven are so cool. Thanquol on Bone Ripper. Those big old rats, that big rat man that they released last year or whenever it was.
He's a rat man.
I don't even know what his name is. But I'm just going to call him Big Rat Man. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. The massive horn.
The big rat man.
Right? Yeah. Big rat man.
The big rat man. I'm a rap man. Did
that just finally catch up with you, did it? God, that's your neck grump. Just like downloading conversation. 68%, 69%.
Sorry.
But like, that's all right. That's all right.
But
like, and I play Soulblight Graveler. I actually have a Sigmar army.
I got some. I used to have.
Right. The Soulblight range. I'm a gothic horror whore.
They're
right?
so cool.
Like, holy shit. They're so good. They're so good. Like, the gash looks amazing. Like, Prince for Hordride looks amazing. Like, Radagast the Beast. Radica the Beast looks amazing. Radagast.
He's like, I'm in the wrong universe. What the fuck?
Radica. That's it. The
what
Beast
the
looks amazing. But no. Right. There's something about that game which just...
Yeah. You're Trump handing.
Yeah, Trump handing?
Yeah, you're Trump handing.
Am I?
For those of you that aren't watching, Russ has got the little circle.
To be fair, I always talk with my hands. Like,
that's fair enough, but you're just Trump handing quite a lot.
Trump handing. I'm not
going
to
Trump
have
handing.
That,
you're like...
Because I was talking like this before Trump took office.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But
you
just keep getting the little tucked-in Trump hand. Yeah, that one. Exactly. You're doing it again.
No, I'm deliberately doing it. So shut up! God, you're on thin ice already, young man.
I know, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm in for it. I'm in for it after this episode.
The daddy pants are coming on.
I can't believe you said that.
Done this.
I can't believe you've done
this. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like I would love to like Sigmar more, and I'd like to not compare and I'm sure it can be played competitively, right? But it doesn't feel like a massively competitive game.
No,
like
it doesn't, does it?
And also, I'm kind of a bit of a loyalist for the old square bases, man. Like, if I'm going to play fantasy, shut up. You can go away. This is not the game for you. Fuck off. Go away. No,
square
you're wrong.
bases.
You're wrong, and you need to be told that you're wrong.
No, thank you.
Why? What's wrong with square bases?
Because they're just uckers. What is this?
What?
So they're uckers.
Uckers?
Yeah, ugly.
They're not, though.
They are. They just look
Why
shit.
Why are they ugly? They don't look shit. They look beautiful.
Do. They look shy.
They get that OCD part of my brain, which is just
they don't.
Them up, man.
No. Because half the time the models are too big to push together anyway.
Do you know how I do my movement phase in Fantasy, Ed? I just go...
you could just get a big movement tray with circular holes in it.
Oh, really? Have you tried that, have you?
No, I'm sure it's...
tumbling monkeys, the
game. What are you talking about?
Everything's just tumbling around. And
no, just get a square tray, circular holes in it, put your models in it, push the tray.
For 40k, because everything has to move a certain way. Like there's going to be ways that things interact with it, and everyone's like, "You can't consolidate like that when you're moving it."
It's true. That is
right.
True.
It's true, isn't it?
True,
so you can't do it. So fuck you. That's not the same compared to one big block of infantry.
They do look better.
They do, and it looks like Napoleonics, where you've got
it's
big blocks. You're not. You're actually not correct.
I'll fight you. I'll fight you.
Square bases are the best.
I'll push you over.
So I've always loved square bases. So fuck Sigmar for taking my square bases away. And
that's the one thing it's done right. In my eyes,
you're wrong.
It's take
You're
away
just
square
wrong.
bases.
You never played Fantasy, man. You weren't there. You weren't there at the beginning.
Actually, that's not true. I do have some models on square bases.
Did you play it though? Did you play it in any store campaigns?
Not in a store campaign.
Storm of
no.
Chaos campaign in 2003.
No,
did you?
I didn't. I wish I had, but unfortunately, I wasn't that cool.
See, that's such a clever comment, because however you spin that is actually quite funny.
Exactly.
So well done, I'll give you that. That's actually quite class.
Yeah, sucks to be you, mate.
Yeah, apparently. But I loved a bit of Fantasy, and actually, some of my mates that played it, it was wicked. So, and I would say that actually some of my more memorable hobby memories come from Fantasy rather than 40k.
Yeah.
So, get fucked. So square bases, everybody. Do you like Sigmar? Have we just got this wrong?
Do you like
got this wrong?
Your men looking like they're walking around on a doormat? You tell us.
We need to talk about this square versus round base thing.
I fucking hate square bases.
You're so wrong about this. I would genuinely say, hand on heart, I love you, Ed, but you're actually wrong. Even if it's an opinion-based concept on this one, you are incorrect, sir.
Am I?
You are incorrect.
Let us know in the comments below. Vote with your mouth that connects to your brain and then goes down your arms into your fingertips and types the comment.
You're just so weird.
Tell us, square or round bases?
For fantasy games?
No, just generally.
Oh, okay. That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation.
No, I was just talking generally.
I want round bases for my 40k, but I want square bases for fantasy. I don't play fucking 40k with square bases. What do you think I am? Some psycho? Like, Christ.
Yes.
Oh, my Space Marines on square bases. No, not happening. Not happening. So, there we go. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts. God, I'm so unhinged today.
Yeah, I know, you're tired and grumpy. It's great.
It's just, I'm just letting my balls pilot today.
It's just poking the bear.
Like cattle prodding my beastmanness to
it's
come
so
out.
Much
also,
fun.
Beastmen don't exist in Sigmar anymore, so it means that it's an inferior game next to Fantasy, because Beastmen need to exist. They're the greatest faction.
Beastmen is such a weird faction to take out of Age of Sigmar. Like, I'd have thought they would have given them a bloody range refresh because they're so cool. Cool. Like, Beastmen is such a classic traditional faction for fantasy in general.
They were better for fantasy than Sigmar,
centaurs and minotaurs and all the other taurs. You've got so many things that end in Tor. Like, it's just...
I feel sorry for James, on the pod recently, right, who, bless him, moved from square bases to round bases and now has to move back to square bases again.
This is another reason why square bases can fucking do one, to be honest with you. Because they're always cutting them on and off and adding them and removing them and converting them and using little things to put them in the bases to make them square, and then they need to take them back out and they're round again, and it's just, fuck that. No.
Well, no, because you don't have to with Beastmen anymore.
Yes, but they'll bring them back into Age of Sigmar in 5 years' time, and everyone will be like, "Oh my god, they're back!" But now I have to put them all back on round bases again, and I've done them off from round to square to round again.
To be fair, I think the reason why GW did that, there is a reason, is because they want factions for Sigmar and factions for Fantasy, and they're making those distinct differences, right? Where those are the models for Fantasy, those are the models for Sigmar. if you would have had Beastmen in both, that would have been really weird, right? Because you would have had a new player buy one and accidentally put them on square bases and then been screwed, and then you would have had like a email from an angry parent being like, "Why did you fuck my kids?
Why did you give me circular aces in this kit when it's all square?"
I don't know, man. Like, I can kind of see their logic, and I am glad, actually, that Beastmen have come back to the old world, because I want to play Beastmen, like, obviously, I've been saying on the channel, and I'm annoying my wife, because I haven't told you about this, but, like, she wants to actually kill me, because every now and again, I'm, like, sat at home, and I just go, Beastman! And she's just like, die. She's just like, don't stop that now. It's just annoying. It's just absolutely infuriating. So there we go. So... yes, Sigmar. What a waste. There we go. So,
Sigmar. Grind set.
Not. Last topic then. This one's a really juicy lore topic to finish. I'm losing my mind. I'm sorry, everybody. Like, I'm so tired. What was the Emperor's Endgame with the Astartes and the Primarchs? Because we recently talked about the old Thunder Warriors getting removed from the old...
I'm going to start this off with an interesting bit of discussion about this, because the way that things turned out with the Primarchs, etc., and the Astartes was very different to how it was planned, because obviously he made them all, and then they all got whisked off by chaos to various planets. Now, you see, I think had that not happened, things might have gone very differently, and the Primarchs themselves would be very different too, because they wouldn't have, gained certain traits and personality traits and developed in certain ways as they did on their host planets. So I think that's almost, it's so ingrained in this now that it's hard to sort of know his end game without that affecting it massively. Do you know what I mean?
I will say I've got quite a lot of points on this.
Hit me with your rhythm steak.
Hit me. I don't think this is a particularly easy thing to answer, actually. Where Leman Russ exists as a Primarch.
Yeah.
And Leman Russ's only kind of existence is to be an executor of other Primarchs. Right? So that to me feels like a contingency that the Emperor was like, might have a problem here. Yeah. Like, I'm creating these 20, in inverted commas, demigods of destruction and ego.
Yep.
Something could go wrong. And I have my attack dog to potentially kill them and bring them in, right? And that's, to be fair, something that happens.
It's like Batman. He has like a plan to nail all the other superheroes, doesn't he?
Yes,
if they ever go rogue.
Contingency plan, yeah.
So what we're saying is that Leman Russ is the Batman of the Primarch, so he's the cool Primarch.
No, now you are fucking deluded. Get fucked, Spaceballs. So wrong. But to me, the existence of Leman Russ anyway, and potentially Lionel Johnson to some degree, kind of to me feels like they are contingencies for things going wrong. And why would they go wrong if the Emperor didn't potentially, think that they may or may not, right? Saying that, there seems to be plans going on with the Emperor to kind of put people into certain positions within his new Imperium, providing that the Webway project was completed, and obviously everything at Ulnor and everything was all sorted.
Balls that one up, didn't he?
Sorry?
Balls that one up, didn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately. Where it felt like Magnus was going to eventually sit his ass on the Golden Throne forever and be that temporal being, opening and closing the Webway forever, like a battery. Which currently is not necessarily the most...
Not the greatest
life ever. Yeah. But then for Magnus, maybe that was purpose and he got to be a psycho all the time, and I don't know, maybe that was pretty important, right? And to me, it always felt like, despite the fact that, obviously Horus was War Master, it always felt to me that, Sanguinius was one day going to be Emperor, right? Where, if
interesting.
If you got your War Master attack dog that's, bringing everything into compliance for the Imperial truth, right? He's not a statesman. He's not, a overall king, so to speak, of this new world. But do you know who is? Sanguinius is, really.
And he lived up... You got to think that old Leman Russ is, he's like the Thor to the Emperor's Odin almost, and he's He's the one who's going out there, as you said, he's the sort of attack dog, the executioner, whatever. But as they've always said, he's more man than beast. And maybe he was the one who was supposed to follow on and become like the new Odin. And we feel like he's going to go that way in the lore, don't we? That he's going to...
It feels to me that people like Russ, the Khan, Angron, would never going to fit into like the bright future of the Imperium, really. Where all of those people are like your outliers and what I would affectionately describe as your bright burners, which potentially could have been.
I disagree. I think Russ is different to that. I think Russ is actually coming. Angron, yeah, sure, but like
the
Russ,
Khan?
Yeah, the Khan, I don't know as much about.
He was engineered to be the wild card, right? He's the guy that you kind of then let go and kind of like go and explore, bro.
But I feel like with Russ, like I feel like his journey is going to be one of coming from that sort of rage and anger and sort of, being just this huge dude to like becoming wiser and slowing down a bit in his wisdom and his old age kind of thing. I feel like he's going to come back and be a bit more actually of a focused point for the... I know you don't like to believe this because you hate Russ.
I actually think the opposite in terms of Russ's...
You think he's going to go the other way?
I think he's going to come back way more feral.
I don't.
In as much as him and the lion mirror each other constantly, right? Mm-hmm. And the lion has come back and he is like an old King Arthur king, but actually he feels a bit more conservative than he ever has been before. Feels a bit more human, a bit more relatable, and a little bit more like together, right? I reckon if Lehman's going to come back out the fucking webway, he's going to be gnarly. Don't get me wrong, he's still going to be Odin, but he's going to be Odin in mythology, which is a total wanker, and like actually throw his big old wolf dick around and get into trouble, like and be the beast. Let the beast take over, where they've swapped. Where the lion is the animal, Lehman Russ is the man, and then they've swapped over again, where now like the lion is the man and Lehman is the fucking beast now.
He'll probably come back and kick the lion's ass then, I suppose. He's due an ass kicking from Russ,
isn't it? Not going to happen. I mean, the lion has a good track record already.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously they've swapped positions. It hurts you, doesn't it?
Shut up. So
you can't have it all, Russ.
I can. I will. I actually will. I've had it all so far. With my predictions have been better than yours this time. So get fucked. Also, that was just me. Also, G-Man was interesting though, right? Because G-Man believed that all of the Primarchs would have a place in the new Imperium to the point where he built like a sort of massive table for them all to be on under the McCrag, right? That one day he would share meal like Last Supper style with all his bros, right? Didn't exactly go to plan. And people like Sanguinius, like Rogel Dawn, like Perturabo to some extent, right?
Yeah.
Are like your building block Primarchs, which actually, if you were to remove them from the Imperium would be not run anywhere near as efficiently in terms of like what it's capable of, right? That being said, the biggest clue for me that like the Emperor didn't really foresee the Primarchs having the biggest impact on the Imperium of the future was through Malkador. Mm-hmm. There's one bit in particular that I need to quote here, where basically it was the bit where there was a massive divide and a massive hissy fit that Horus threw before he was War Master.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same scene where it escalated to the point where Malkador force choked Horus into submission, right? But getting to that point of that apex argument, and I'll cover that in a second, Horus was absolutely frustrated with the bureaucracy and red tape associated with the High Lords of Terror after visiting Terror, right?
Yeah.
To the point where he was questioning Malkador why there are even High Lords of Terror in the first place. Why humans even run Terror at this point, right? Where they're just humans. To which Malkador replied, that was always the goal of the Emperor in the first place. Was that the Imperium was for humanity, run by humanity. And that's all it is. Essentially, Primarchs are a tool, right?
Yeah.
Right, loosely saying. Where, Horus becomes outraged at this and then starts going like, well, why are my two brothers like statues defiled or whatever? And Malkador's like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't you dare say their names. And Horus is just about to, and then like fucking Malcador just fucking spanked Horus like a fucking baby, right? But that to me speaks absolute huge amounts that in the Emperor's grand plan, it was never about the Primarchs, really. They were a means to an end to get to the point where humanity...
Right? They were like the Thunder Warriors of the galaxy instead of the Thunder Warriors for the Earth. They were just like
if you look,
Thunder Warriors 2.0.
Well, yeah, if you look at the way that the Thunder Warriors were organised with 20 legions led by a Primarch, right? Like to me, and this is me always batting for the big E, right? Like, I mean, look at him. He's on my fucking wall.
You can't see him because your camera's in the wrong place. But
you can get fucked.
You can see his feet.
It annoys you, so I'd like to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think in the grand scheme of things, the Primarchs were ever meant to make it past a certain point, actually.
No.
Where I think the Emperor in his head were like, either by ego or by just being worn down or by some being, maybe a couple being corrupted to chaos, not like half of them, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, I'm going to lose them, right? And they're such big egos that eventually they're just going to disappear into the void of the galaxy. And they're only 20 people, right? They're only 20 demigods, right? Yeah. The universe can eat 20 demigods over centuries, right? And is proven to have done so where we're at kind of in modern 40k. So, my opinion is that maybe in the grand scheme of things, like they weren't meant to make it past a certain point,
It's an interesting one. I don't know. Maybe... I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, I can see that, obviously, maybe he would just, as we said, Thunder Warriors 2.0 them. And then, once you've sort of expanded and taken over the galaxy, retaken over the galaxy, et cetera, I feel like what comes next is the question there, though. What do you just mug them all off and, do what he did to the other two that are missing? Or does he...
I think maybe the Emperor did something that he didn't expect there, where he became attached. Right, to some of them.
Maybe.
To some of them.
I mean, he is
right?
human in a way after all,
This is it. Like Constantine Valden was shocked that they had names. Right?
Was he?
When Horus first appeared and he's like, oh, they have names and not like numbers. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that he's like calling them by names. He's using words, like affectionate description words or whatever, right? So, it's like when the dad is like, we're not getting a dog. Right, where it's like we're not getting a dog.
He's the one that gets the most attached.
2 weeks later, like him and the dog are like there in like Vietnam. Do you know what I mean? It's just like like, and this is it, right? It's like maybe in the Emperor's like hubris of humanity, I guess that he actually grew attached in the end.
Maybe
I don't know.
It's a really difficult question. Obviously, nobody really knows the Emperor's plan, including the original writers, clearly, because everyone's in a complete muddle as to what the fuck he was actually trying to do.
Well, to be fair, I quite like that in a way, though, because it highlights like how like insanely like nutty the Emperor is, and also like how his foresight is so confusing.
I think I think they're still going to.
And there's too many writers. So there's too many writers.
They're going to do the old clean sweep down the line. You just wait and see. Yeah, 100%. They're going to get someone like Dabnet, and they're going to go right. Dabnet, clean sweep the bad boy, and they're going to write something together, and the Emperor's going to be like, as you can see, this was my plan all along, my sons. And then you'll be like, oh, fuck, was it now?
I know that may be something that people want. I don't think that's going to happen because there's too many other interesting stories to tell, right? Where, like, the Scouring, we haven't even barely touched on the Scouring yet, right? There's, like, loads of characters that we want to see wrapped up in their own ways. Like, how the fuck did Bjorn end up to be in a fucking dreadnought? Or, like, what happened with the fall of Caliban and... like there's so many things that we need to see happen.
Yeah, but finishing the end of the story or even just bringing it up to speed doesn't mean that any of those stories can't be told,
No,
we can still go back and talk about them.
But we've had 60 Horus Heresy books before getting onto the fucking siege, right? Like,
true.
That's a lot to retcon. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think they're going to retcon any of it. I just think they're going to tidy it up and kind of make it look like he had a plan all along when, really he clearly didn't.
Shut up. Don't you question the big E. Saying that, I've got a like Nurgle necklace on now, so I've lost my way.
You're fallen. Hey.
Hunt
the fallen.
Everyone's like, Dark Ages. Taylor's old as time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a difficult one. I do kind of in my heart, like I want the Emperor to have had some sort of plan that was a bit more than like, oh, whoops, I shit the bed. Now I'm stuck in a big chair. And
I think people were just idiots.
Yeah, but I think he's the ultimate idiot, really, because if he's got all this foresight and shit like that, he should have seen it coming. To be honest with you. Well, it was the tachyon storm.
He's often described. To be fair, he has often described how seeing the future is not always guaranteed, right? Where it's like a constantly moving cliff face, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just complicated. I just think it's like a fucking nerdy, complicated thing, and I don't think there will ever be a definitive answer in regards to this. But like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Were the Primarchs meant to survive past a certain point, or were they just always tools? In the modern era, we do know for certain that the Emperor, what's left of the Emperor on the Golden Throne, really shat Guilliman up when he came for a visit. Because when Guilliman arrived at Terra for the first time, Guilliman was absolutely shocked by what he saw, which was like this dystopian nightmare and cherubs flying around and stuff. And he's just like, oh, what the fuck is going on? But to then encounter the Emperor on the Golden Throne and the Emperor to shit him up in a way psychologically that was incredibly damaging.
What did he say to him?
We don't know, but we do know that it was horrible, in as much as when Guilliman came out, he looked really shook up. And I think it was because that basically the Emperor talked to him like he was he found like a tool. Do you know what I mean? Like the subconscious of the Emperor is like, oh, you, like screwdriver, yes, can we do the screwdriver things that screwdrivers go and do the screwdriver? And Guilliman's like, you're my dad, like do like I'm not just give me a bit of humanity. And I think the Emperor's just like, go do thing. Do you know what I mean? And he's just like and like not even using his name, just like, just really harshly like making him go and serve the Emperor as well, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Where before, the Emperor of yesteryear, even if that was subconsciously what was going on in the Emperor's head, it was still like glorified as like, oh, my son, welcome back to the fold. Like,
do you think that if you say, if you invoke the protection of the Emperor, do you think that actually does anything?
Yes.
You do?
We know it does, because the sisters do it.
Okay, cool. They can do it.
Because it creates the faith.
But do you think like normal people can do it?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. So
they may become saints. They may become saints. But it's equally how the Chaos Gods have power, right?
Yeah.
It's literally how faith makes power.
Chaos! Hear me!
See, I'm hoping that due to my newfound faith in chaos, that I should kick ass at the tournament this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, we'll recap it next week because we'll be recording, by the sounds of it, probably post-event at this rate. So.
But we'll see. We'll see. We may not. But let us know what you think. Of course, join our Discord, like, comment, subscribe. And, interesting. I'm now going to absolutely scold my co-host, even though I love him, and he's a great guy.
I can take it. It was worth it.
You've been naughty boy
always
today.
Worth it. Just to see your face.
Fuck off. If you... just don't do it in... Just don't in person. Don't do it in person.
In person or on podcast, live.
No. Right.
We all love it.
With that blessing, you guys have a fabulous week, and we'll see you very soon.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Ciao.